Howdy, my darling Aries. How are you doing? You have a pretty beautiful new beginning coming forward to you, and this isn't without the hard work that you have been put through. Aries, I see, because I have your tarot cards right now laid out in front of me, Aries, for your tarot reading today, but I see you guys been having to unload a lot of baggage. You guys, Aries, have been trying to overcome a block in your life. Something has been giving you a lot of resistance. Maybe it's been really hard for you to move on from a situation or a person in your life, Aries. Maybe it's been this place of trying to figure out what you needed to work on internally or externally so you can begin a new chapter of your life, because I get this sense of stagnation. It's been unable to move on from something from the past, or from move on from a stage of your life, because it could be something that's not even something of substantial, like a specific thing. It's just like a chapter of your life that just has been really chaotic. For you, Aries, you might have even felt as if you haven't had like your New Year's, right? It's like we're in 2023 now, and for you, Aries, you're in this place of where it's, man, like everyone else seems to be able to do all these things, but then you're just sitting left there, Aries, trying to just overcome some hurdles. I see this coming forward to you here, Aries. This full energy is the overall energy for this week for you, darling. All right, so let me introduce myself before I get into your tarot reading this week, Aries. Howdy, darling. My name is SimplyVelca. What makes my tarot reading a little bit different from other tarot readers is that, yes, I'll talk about the positive things that you're manifesting right now, of course, Aries, but what good is knowing that if you don't know how to go from point A to point B? And so I like to have my tarot readings to be a sense of spiritual guidance, providing a blueprint for you of how you do that, giving you a sense of direction and clarity by the time you end this tarot reading. So if you're looking for something like that and I look like your type of tarot reader, darling, then let's just get right into this. Enough of the dilly-dally. So Aries, in your current situation right now, as well as the Tower card, or as well as your challenge position, is the Tower card here, Aries, which I actually like seeing this here. I know a lot of people, Aries, are afraid of the Tower because of, honestly, I feel like it's a little bit of pop culture. Just there always has to be some type of scapegoat. But the Tower card is something that you should be welcoming in, because it's like wiping away the slate clean. And because it's associated with that 10 of Wands, it's essentially, you could read this as, Aries, where it's like the baggage that you have been carrying. If you're going to perceive the 10 of Wands as like a positive or a negative, right? The tens represents closures to cycles also, by the way, Aries, if you don't know. So another layer of a chapter ending the very thing that you have been wanting in your life, even if it's not like a specific chapter of something with finances or what have you. It's just, you're just ready for this hard. It's like you have been getting a lot of character development recently, Aries, through your spiritual team and the universe really just challenging you lately, and you're trying really hard not to be bitter about it. And success, you're doing really good at this. But anyways, back to the main point here, Aries, right? The Tower card representing the ending of just all this dead weight, this heaviness that you have been carrying, something that has been really holding you back, Aries. And you'll notice as we continue in this reading here, off of your other cards in your Celtic cross, your Celtic spread here, Aries, is that the freedom for you, baggage, dead weight, that's going to be a common theme for you this week, Aries. If you've been noticing or just been having like this sense of heaviness in like your auric field, or just, darling, maybe it's just been really hard for you to just get motivated to get up in the mornings. Like it's been a little bit hard to get out of bed, right? And there's just been this weight, could even be quite literally like a weight, some weight. Maybe you've been struggling with your weight or what have you here. I see this being released here. There's this sense of weight being shed from you, Aries. And some of you guys, for some of y'all, Aries, is 200 pounds of dead weight, meaning like a person, honey. All right. And so this is being shed, so then it opens up so much for you, right? Because I feel as if for you, Aries, when you see this 8 of Wands, the 8 of Wands does represent travel, movements in your life, but you haven't been able to do that because that's been in your past situation, right? And so you have been really just being this wounded warrior here with this 9 of Wands. Lots of fire energy here, by the way, Aries. So I'm noticing this here. So if you have any other fire signs in your chart, maybe check that out. Anyways, yeah, with the 9 of Wands, this is where you have been. You're trying to just rise above, even though you've been having all this baggage here. You still have just been, because you can't really afford not to. That's the message that I hear. It's like you can't really afford to break down or anything like that. And 6 of Cups coming in here for you, Aries. When I see this for you, you have finally, well, yes, Aries, you have been in a period of your life of getting a lot of character development. But what this has shaped you to be, if I can get it out, Aries, is it's shaped you to be a person that is just going to be able to handle the future version of yourself that you envision. It's like we all have this ideal version of ourselves, whether it's a certain weight, look, intelligence, what have you, financial success. But we have to go from, there's like stages to this, right? And so you have been just going through a really tough stage or period of your life where you just really have been your limits tested. For some of you, Aries, it's like your bank account has been greatly tested here. And so you have shed a lot during this journey as well. Yes, you've had a lot of character development, but it's partially due to the fact of people in your life or things in your life that you've ended up having to lose, or you've ended up having to support and taking away from your big plans for yourself. Maybe there's been a lot of distractions because you needed to do damage control or help out other people. And by the end of this chapter for you, this really long chapter, Aries, I see for you here the sense going right back to this Fool. All right, so you have to not be afraid as well, Aries. When your spiritual team is handing you a get out of jail free card, you want to be taking it. All right, don't be just being like, oh, are you sure? And what this get out of jail free card is going to be looking like for you, Aries, is going to be different for all of you, because this is a general tarot reading, darling, obviously. For example, maybe this is all resonating in regards to your career or financial situation, right? I see an opportunity coming in for you to have that Fool energy, but it's inspired by the Ace of Swords, because this is in your power position. The Ace of Swords, I know where the get out of jail free card is going to come in the sense of being able to take action on something due to some type of idea or inspiration that comes forward to you, usually dealing with a creative. And that opportunity, again, if it's finances or maybe you hate your job, there's going to be an opportunity, something that can inspire you to do something vastly different with that Fool energy. But you have to have the courage to do so. You have to be able to know when it's time to just leave a path entirely and just go down and start carving down a whole new path. I feel like for you, Aries, there's some of y'all that are struggling with this sense of accepting that you can just let a project go. Like you don't have to see something through to the end, or whether this is a project, a job, or it could even be a person. Like there's no sense of obligation that you need to have with the situation to see it through until the very end. So release yourself of that obligation, Aries, so that way your heart can finally start opening up. You can make space for new love, new opportunity to come into your life, Aries. All right. What's really been holding you back is the things that you have been feeling obligated to keep in your life. Funnily enough, you've been searching for what you've needed to unpack or what you needed to break off or what have you, but it's been in front of you this entire time. And maybe it's just, I don't know. I think it's just because of how loyal you are, Aries. Like you don't really have, like, it's a foreign concept for you to just walk away. And I feel like that's like the last final lesson for you that you need to have. And so maybe that's why it's very fitting with this Tower energy, where it's like you dread it the most, but you dread it the most because that's your final chapter of your shadow work period, right? Maybe you have abandonment issues. Maybe we can go into all those delving into blaming childhood and all those things, but you can explore that yourself. You have the Knight of Swords. Once you do identify this, though, once you do decide to take action, all right, the Knight of Swords is the quickest and fastest moving knight. So it is representing that sense of being able to get things going, being able to get things done, and a lot of unexpected things popping up, a lot of doors showing up for you. All right, Aries. And so I want you to not be afraid of exuding this Fool energy, because some of you might be referencing something the last time you had a Fool journey of your life in some facet, and you're just like, you know what, that was such a brutal journey. I just got out of a brutal journey of just trying to figure things out. You're associating taking the easy way is not like going a new path. Like you want to just keep doing what it is that you're doing. But the reality is, if you step into this Fool journey, things would be happening at a much different pace than what you are used to. All right. Maybe you're just so used to associating, like, you know what, I gotta grind it out for 500 hours before we see any results. That's not what this is. I really do see things pop, like really validating you and the results that you get are very new to you, because of course you are having this thinking that it's going to be so hard for you to get to certain accolades or accomplish certain things in your life, because back in the past you were carrying like 300 pounds of dead weight in your life, so you couldn't fully just express yourself and do the things that you've been wanting to do, because you had so many responsibilities, so many things that you felt obligated towards, Aries. And that's why you have the Queen of Wands as your outcome position, which is somebody who is allowing their wings to just spread, being able to just leave the nest, essentially carrying only with them their passion, letting that guide their way, not really regarding anything else in the outside world. That's why you even see, Aries, with the illustrations of the Queen of Wands in the Rider-Waite Tarot, there's no chameleon associated with her, which the chameleon symbolizes the immunity of fire, right? So even though she doesn't have that protection, natural protection of the fire, she still goes out and follows with her passion what it is that she wants to do with this new free weight, because that's more important to her than the potential burns that of what could happen after, right? She allows her passion to really guide her and really doesn't allow anything else to weigh her down. And I feel like that's what your journey is right now, Aries. So I see a lot of beautiful things really shaping up for you, Aries, but you have to be the one to be willing to be brave enough, to be bold enough to make this decision for yourself to go into a new path. And I know it's much easier said than done, believe me. All right, I completely understand. So let's do 3 more tarot cards here. Aries, get some final thoughts. 2 of Wands popped out here, 8 of Pentacles coming in here, and then the 9 of Cups. All right. And then even afterwards, we have the Fool card in the back of the deck. This is what you guys are destined for ultimately here. So there's not really much else to unpack. It's time for you to elevate. It's time for you to grow. And it's through welcomed change, darling. You know what you need to be doing. All right. You're about to be going on a new journey. That's really what the 2 of Wands represents. I do see travel. I see movement, darling. You have a lot to be looking forward to here, Aries, but you just have to be brave enough to bet on yourself. So that's the weekly tarot reading that I have for you today, darling. If you enjoyed this tarot reading and you want further clarity in your own personal life, Aries, I do private readings one-on-one only through my website, SimplyVelca.com, darling. So check that out if you want to, and I'll talk to you later on, Aries. Bye.